So your next power is basically, it says to discuss any related issues with the internal statutory auditors and the management of the company. So the internal audit committee, so the audit committee will, if there are any issues, okay, they will basically discuss it with the internal auditor, statutory auditor, or the management of the company. Next one is to investigate into any matter in relation to the items or referred to it by the board. Okay, basically the audit committee has complete authority to carry out any investigation, okay, any investigation, but it should be regarding any matter which is in relation to items or referred to it by the board. Okay, it should be referred to it by the board only. Next is to obtain professional advice from external sources. Now see, audit committee will also require certain amount of advice, right? They cannot take complete decisions on their own also. So if they want to take any advices, they will take from the external sources. Now external sources will be your shareholders, creditors, okay, it could be any other people who is an expert in the particular thing. Now, next is to have full access of information contained in the records of the company. Okay. Now, the audit committee will have complete access to information. I've told you all in the previous video also. Once you appoint a particular audit committee, or you appoint a particular auditor, you need to make sure you are giving complete and detailed information, and you are giving them access to the records of the company to carry out the auditing. Okay. Now, the auditors of the company and the KMP shall have the right to be heard in the meetings of the audit committee when considers the audit report, but shall not have the right to vote. See, now when you have an audit committee in the particular organization, they will have the right to talk in the meeting, give suggestions in the meeting. But when it comes to appointment, see, you'll have certain voting power, okay, like how many votes will decide whether you need to select a particular person. Now suppose there are two persons who are contesting for managing director. Amongst these two, the auditor will not have right to give any sort of vote. He will not be able to select anyone, but he will have the power to give suggestions, okay, but not the right to vote. Now now the power of audit committee under mandatory companies and the other companies. Now under mandatory companies, the companies which are required to constitute an audit committee shall operate the vigil mechanism through the audit committee, and if any of the members of the committee have a conflict of interest in given case, they could rescue themselves on the committee would deal with the matter on hand. See, basically every company will have certain amount of audit committee, right? Now it is up to the audit committee if they want to give necessary information, if they want to give any suggestions, or if they want to save themselves from any sort of conflict or fights. If they think if they are giving this particular suggestion, they disputes might occur in all of that, so they can save themselves. Now what happens in other companies? Now let's see what happens in other companies. The board of directors will nominate a director to play the role of the audit committee for the purpose of vigil mechanism, to whom other directors and employees may report their concern. See, what is happening in other companies is, from the top management, from the board of directors, the board of director only will appoint one particular individual as a director who will be a part of the audit committee. And this particular auditor, whoever is conducting the audit, can report to the top, he can submit the reports to the particular director, okay, to avoid any sorts of confusion, okay, to avoid any sorts of confusion and to have a proper mechanism. Now the existence of mechanism may be appropriately communicated within the organization. Now very important, as I told you all earlier, now whatever the decisions of the top management are, the managing director will act as a license, right? So the managing director will have to communicate everything to the organization. Okay, what is the detailed vigil mechanism, everything, whatever the board report are, everything must be communicated effectively to the top, to the low level management and the middle level management. Now next is to safeguard the employees and directors. Now what is safeguard the employees and directors is basically you are safeguarding them against victimization of employees. Now certain employees might think that the directors are not fair, the employees are not fair, so you are protecting you are having a vigil mechanism, a very effective mechanism in order to protect and safeguard the employees from victimization, and also directors. See, you should have certain necessary rules and regulations in a particular company, but it should not be really strict that the employee cannot work effectively, okay, that the employee will feel pressurized. So you should always safeguard your employees and directors. Next is action against frivolous complaints. Okay, frivolous complaints is unnecessary complaints. Okay. Now, suppose in case of frivolous complaints, if it is filed by a director or an employee, the audit committee or the director who is basically nominated on behalf of the audit committee will take suitable action. Okay, if any complaints are there, then either audit committee will directly take the action, or if a particular person is appointed as a director in the audit committee, he will take necessary action based on what action must be taken based on the complaint which is given. Okay. Next is penalty. Now, in company, what is the company? Officer in default. Okay, what is the fine? It is one very important, girls. Please remember what is the penalty. Fine 1 lakhs to 5 lakhs. Okay, now the penalty is officer in default. Now, fine 1 lakhs to 35 lakhs is basically, it says imprisonment up to 1 year or fine of rupees 25,000, 1 lakh or both. If the now what is the penalty for it? If they are if there is any unnecessary complaints, or if it was not necessary in all of this, if it was a time waste or something like that, then they will have a fine of 1 lakhs to 5 lakhs, or they will have 1 year of imprisonment and fine of 25,000 to 1 lakh, or they can have both fine and imprisonment. Okay. Now let's move on to your next topic. This particular topic, that is Companies Act versus 2013 versus Companies Act of 1956, will be your assignment. You will have to write down your assignment for 10 marks and submit it. Okay. Similarly, I will be telling you your further assignments as well. Now, next is your company social responsibility. Your next topic is your company social responsibility. Now, in your company social responsibility, I think by now you all have understood what is CSR, corporate social responsibility, or company social responsibility. It is basically, company social responsibility is basically, it is the responsibility of the company towards the community. Now, what is the responsibility towards community? It is nothing but how they need to maintain the environment, do not pollute the environment. You provide for employment opportunities to people, contribute towards the society, contribute towards the income of the nation. Okay, pay your taxes on time. This is the responsibility of the company. Now, what is the applicability of the CSR provision? Applicability of CSR is company social responsibility. What is applicability? In which companies it is applicable? Okay. Now, every company, including its holding or subsidiary having. Now, one particular company will be there. It is in India. Okay, and it has its branches. It will be in USA. Okay, it will be in Canada. Okay, now it will be in any other Dubai or anything as such. Okay, basically it is telling that one company which is holding its subsidiaries. Okay, firstly, the company should have the net worth of 500 crore or more. Firstly, company should have a net worth, that is capital, of 500 crore or more. Based on that net worth, they should have a turnover of 1000 crores. Okay, firstly, capital of 5. Net worth of 500 crores. Their turnover, their profit should be more than 1000 crores. Okay, their net profit should be 5 crores or more. Profit should be 5 crores or more during immediately preceding financial year. As I told you, the financial year of India, based on that, they should have, in that particular financial year, they should have all of these particular profits, that is profit of 5 crores based on the activities that they are carrying out. Now, a foreign company may having its branch office or project office in India, which fulfills the certain criteria specified above. However, if a company ceases to meet the above criteria 3 consecutive financial years, then it is not required to comply with the financial year. See, every company will be given a minimum period of 3 years or 5 years or 2 years, okay, based on what kind of company it is and what kind of activities they are carrying out. Suppose if a particular company, not every company will have its profits as 5 crores for every year, right? So if a company, suppose for 2 years also, if they are not able to reach up to 5 years, then that particular company does not have to take up any activity like company social responsibility. Now, for example, which are the companies that are taking up all of these? It is Tata, Okay, it is a Reliance Industry. Okay, why? Because they are very profitable, they are very rich. Okay, they are very well established, and they'll have a profit which will be up to 5 crores or more than 5 crores. So it is applicable for those kind of companies. Okay, it is not applicable for those companies. Now suppose you have a private company in Cunningham Road or Vasant Nagar or something close by areas. Now those particular companies will not have so much of profits, right? So for those particular companies it is not applicable. It is only applicable for those companies which are profit making. Okay, now let's see what is CSR committee. Now CSR committee is basically a committee just like an audit committee, which will constitute certain amount of people. Now CSR committee, it will be basically formed in that particular organization which is being able to carry out the CSR responsibility, or whose profits are high. Okay, firstly it will consist of 3 or more directors. CSR company will consist of 3 or more directors, out of which at least one director shall be independent director. Okay, one director will be independent director. However, if the company is not required to appoint independent director, then it shall have 2 or more directors in the company. Okay, see, basically they are appointing 3 directors, 3 or more, total 4 you keep. Okay, now on this 4 they have the right to appoint one independent director also, but it is up to them. If they do not want to appoint an independent director, they can have 2 or more directors in the committee. Next is consisting of 2 directors in case of private company, having only 2 directors on the board. Okay, this is only in terms of private company wherein they have 2 directors on board. Consisting of at least 2 persons in case of foreign company, of which person shall be authorized person resident in India and other nominated by the foreign company. Okay, this is in terms of the foreign company. Okay, basically this is in terms of private and this is in terms of foreign company. Okay.